It's puck time. It's Wednesday, a day of mourning for most Leaf fans, but not for me. I'm excited. I'm pumped. I don't have to worry about moving my schedule around tomorrow night or Saturday night or Monday night or Wednesday night. I am free. And I like it. I'm used to it. I've been free my whole life in April and May. Why should anything change? I'm the Prez, Andrew McInnis, the kid, Carmine Bianco, the bald man. I had the pleasure and misfortune of sharing last night's Leaf game with the bald man. How is everyone? Andrew, we'll go to you first. What's going on, brother dude?
Feeling good, Prez. I probably cashed the most lucky, fortunate, whatever word you want to use, bet I've ever had in my whole life. I mean, 0.7 seconds left on the clock. I cashed my over 5.5. And the funny thing is, I got some people on Twitter saying, you better count your blessings. You better go to church and you better put some money in the bowl, all this stuff. But the fact is, it was a very offensive game. And whether anyone wants to say this or not, Prez, I believe you can handicap elimination games. And I did take that into consideration with the 5.5 total, that there could be one, if not two, empty net goals. And I really do stand by that can still be part of a handicap. But either way, man, 0.7 seconds left. I don't think I've celebrated a win that much in a very long time. But, feeling good, Prez. Feeling good. How are you, Carm?
I'm doing great. We actually talked about it when there was about 30 seconds left. I turned to Prez and I said, the total is falling on this right now. There's going to be like an empty net goal. And when they put it in, it actually showed 0, but I saw the puck go in with like 0.5 left. And we discussed it. I'm like, it's a goal, right? It's a goal. And literally it changes fortunes for people. This is the thing. And because when we'll get back to Prez and we'll talk hockey, is a game is from minute 1 to minute 60, and then OT if it's needed.
Some deep stuff there.
It doesn't matter where your bet cashes, as long as it cashes. If you had lost, if you had under 5.5, and your bet loses with 0.5 left on the clock, people don't want to hear how unlucky you were. All they know is that you lost the bet.
So I'm cutting you off.
It goes both ways. So
I'm cutting you off.
We take the wins, we take the losses. This is a win.
Time out by the Prez. You're listening to Puck Time every day, Monday to Friday at WagerTalk TV, our YouTube channel at sportsmemo.com, the home of Andrew McInnis, and wagertalk.com, the home of Carmine and myself. Boys, we'll talk about the Leaf game in a second, and we're going to talk quickly because some of the listeners are sick and tired of listening to me talk about the Leafs.
For obvious reasons.
Well, they won't have to. What I want to talk to you about is my lucky bet last night and Carm's. I've had a dreadful first round. Probably the worst 14 days of betting I've had in years, but it's over. And how do I know it's over? Because I had the over in the San Jose game. And I cashed it. And it went way over. 9 goals. Come on, I had 3 to spare. Guys.
Gotta love it.
I'll tell you, man. At first I think to myself, Vegas should be very pissed off. Like, I understand what happened to Captain Joe was really tough. He could be very hurt. I haven't looked. But I'll tell you, man, had that have been 30 years ago, he would be dead. That was one of the hardest head to the ice falls I've ever seen in my life. But it was barely a penalty. I think if he didn't even fall, they don't even call it. It wasn't a full-on cross-check. He started with his arms, like his stick was on him when he pushed, which means it's not a cross-check. A cross-check is when you push to him. It was very unlucky for the Vegas Golden Knights. It was a terrible overreaction by the refs. But here's the bottom line. You can't let 4 goals in on a 5-minute penalty kill. You can't let 3 goals in on a 5-minute penalty kill. You can't let 2 goals in on a 5-minute penalty kill. Sure, the refs screwed that whole series up for Vegas, but they screwed it up themselves too. I was cheering for Vegas in overtime because of that terrible call, but alas, they couldn't get it done. It was one of the craziest games I've ever seen in my life. Exciting as hell, but it's on Vegas that they lost. Andrew?
Yeah, listen.
Carm, go ahead.
I was going to say, I watched the game. To me, that wasn't a penalty. Here's the thing is, the ref explained later that it was a stick to the head. It was never a stick to the head.
Never.
It was a stick to the chest.
Here.
And before Pavelski could regain his control or regain his balance, he was hit from the side, which knocked him down. Now, any other time, if he falls to the ground, he braces himself, gets back up. That's why there was no penalty. He lay on the ground. The guy looked motionless. I hope he's fine. By all the indications, he is. But that's never a 5-minute penalty. It just isn't. They all missed it. So how do you go back, right? Once you go back, because the guy's lying on the ground and you say, okay, maybe he hit him with a stick to the head, you can now question every single call that's made within a game that a referee misses. How do they go back and change it? It's, the video replay is there for goals, and that's it. Maybe they change it somewhere in the future.
They were talking about
that penalty cost the Vegas Golden Knights their season. Literally cost them their season. It's a 2-minute penalty. They give them a 2. Maybe they score in the power play, but that's it. It's 3-1 at that point. And they gave a 5-minute penalty that changed their season.
Yeah, and
there's a smile on Prez's face. I can tell how happy you were, Prez.
Well, no, you know what? Listen, I had no dog in the fight. I wanted the game to go over the total. Andrew, you want to quickly add to that, and then we'll get to some other stuff?
Just quick thoughts, really, or just, as much as you can fault the penalty, you also have to have a good penalty kill, plain and simple. I mean, a lot of people are going to be pissed off about that, but like you said, you got 5 minutes. If it's if you got 2-minute power plays, you should maybe 2.5 goals, 2 goals, maybe. But let one in, then sharpen things up. Throw the puck down next
the average power play is around 26%. Call it 25 for argument's sake. That means in 2-minute power plays, you should get half a goal. In a 5-minute power play, you should get 1 goal, at the most 2. It's completely on the Knights. Oh well, let's move on. In regards to the Leafs, oh well, let's move on.
Yeah.
Most importantly, I've started playing Scrabble a lot. I'm playing against my Vivian, and I am kicking her butt.
You're losing 10-1. What are you talking about?
I am destroying her.
Do you know what an annihilation is? That is what is happening with this guy.
Did you use that word in the game? You get a lot of points for that word if you use that.
Which
annihilation?
Yeah, you should.
So according to Vivian, she is up 10-1. So let me give you guys some background. Everything Vivian and I do together, I beat her at. This time I thought to myself, I'm going to give her 9-game spot.
Nice.
Make it super interesting. So next week, I will let you guys know I will be up 11-10.
Okay.
I suck at Scrabble. I could have SUCK on the board, and I won't even be able to find the word. That's how bad I suck at Scrabble.
You're a four-letter word kind of guy in Scrabble.
Okay, let's get to it, boys. I just wanted to give a shout-out to my Vivian for kicking my ass in Scrabble night after night. Guys, elimination game, Washington, -160, 5.5. I have a 5-unit play tonight on that game. It is the only game available to bet. I'm going to stay out of this conversation and hand it to the bald man first.
Listen, I actually went. I went against myself from an earlier show when we talked about. I think it was with Koken. I think it was on Friday, and we covered Saturday games. We talked about the Washington Carolina series, and I literally said that Washington would win Game 5 at home, that this was a complete homer series. They're going to go back to Carolina. Carolina would win Game 6, and then they come back to Washington, where Washington wins the series and moves on. I've got futures on Washington, so yes, I'm hoping they move on tonight. I went against myself in that Game 6, where I literally took Washington in Carolina, even though I did say I was pretty certain that Carolina would win. So it was a bonehead move. But it's Washington for me. They had that goal disallowed, the Ovechkin goal. I'm positive that was a goal. I know the ruling is that they thought that Ovechkin stick came in contact with
Mrazek's pads.
So what?
with his pads. It didn't. It hit the puck first, and then he hit his pads. That's a goal. Ref was out of position, did not see the puck, blows it, or he says the intention was he was going to blow the play dead. This is another thing that the referees do because of review. And here's the thing: is because of review and the fact that they have review, they should not be blowing that puck dead because they can always go to review later and change it.
Carm,
blow it dead.
Carm, Andrew,
really
one sec. Andrew, one sec. Carm, just to jump in, me and you talk about that in NFL football. When, is it a fumble? Is it a backward pass? The defender picks the ball up and runs it into it for a touchdown, and the ref blows the whistle. Then the ref realizes they've screwed up, and it should have been a touchdown. It's exactly the same thing. Put your frickin' whistle away, you stupid morons.
Listen, soccer, for as much as people don't like soccer.
Gold card,
listen,
card, get out.
Listen, soccer finally has it right. They did it in the World Cup, and they do it in every league, and it'll be in the EPL next season, where they've got it right. They told the linesmen on the sides, even if you think it's an offside, do not put your flag up, because there's video review that will review it. But if you put your flag up and it wasn't an offside, you stopped a potential goal from going in, you've changed the outcome of a game. So now they tell them, keep your flag down, we can change it later.
Right.
And they do. They've got it right. So they've got to get it right in the NHL as well, too. So that's my point here. You can't change it in the playoffs. You can't change
Carm, enough with you.
La Passion from Carmine. I like it.
Hey,
very
no French on my show.
Okay.
Prez, one more word. Sorry, for the viewers, go to my Twitter, Carmine Bianco WT. I've got a video on there where all of my friends, including the Prez, bugged me all year. All year, these guys are on me. And I gave it back to them in a nice short video with some beautiful editing to it.
It's really good. It actually made my day so far. Andrew, what do you like on this Washington-Carolina game?
I actually, as well, I'm going for back-to-back 5% winners here tonight in the only game, Washington versus Carolina. However, like you said before, Prez, this is a show that we're on. We're here to talk hockey. And for me, when it comes down to it, just like the same way I felt with Boston versus Toronto, a lot of things you got to wonder, how important is one, home ice, how important is two, experience, and three, looking at the patterns that we've seen. The zigzag theory, home ice, home team 6-0 in this series. The favorite is 6-0 in this series. And, Carmine, very, very passionate about that Ovechkin play. And if I'm Carolina, I don't really want a pissed off. I don't want to piss off Alexander Ovechkin. I don't want him fuming coming into this game, plain and simple. But I think when you come in and look at a game like this, just like I've been saying all real playoffs long, you got to look at experience. You got to look at who's been there before. One play that I want to mention here, guys, and this is more of an in-play look. I cashed a ticket with it last game between these two teams. It was at -140. It's very expensive now. But the third period over 1.5, you'll be able to look at getting that at the end of the second period. I mean, this is one of those things here where elimination games, more so than not, like yesterday, like we mentioned, the two empty net goals in the Boston versus Toronto game, you could see a lot of that here in this third period tonight with Washington versus Carolina. So I think this should be a great game. I'm not touching the full game total, just strictly based off, the goaltending. I think Mrazek and Holtby are both capable of stealing a game, but there's also some great offenses from both teams. Williams has to have a great game as well for Carolina to be successful. I feel like there's a lot more pressure on the Carolina Stars than there really is on the Washington Capitals Stars. You look at, the depth that Washington really has versus the depth that Carolina has, it makes you think. But with the way that Carolina won their last game, it makes me think they could also roll into Game 7 and feel pretty good. I got to say, though, each team has had an answer for everything the other team has done. In Game 3, Carolina won 5-0. They went back home. They won 5-0. Dominant statement game. Next game was 2-1, a very more tightly played game. Then Game 5, right back to Washington. What do they do but one-up them with a 6-0 dominant victory? So, this is really a winner takes all. This should be a great Game 7. I mean, everybody was pumped for the Boston-Toronto, but this game's going to be just as exciting, I think.
He's Andrew. The other guy's Carm. I'm the Prez. Guys, 2 more minutes. Let's go through this real quick. To win the series, Columbus plus 145, Boston minus 165. Here's the bottom line from me. Look, we saw Columbus just lay the smackdown on Tampa Bay. That's not who Tampa Bay was, and that's not who Columbus is. But the bottom line from my perspective is, and it is a backhanded insult towards my Toronto Maple Leafs, but I don't think Boston is very good. I like Columbus at plus 145 in this series. I think they will lose the first game because they've been sitting for a week. So lay half the bet you would on Columbus at plus 145. Wait for them to lose and then get it again at like 190. But yeah, Columbus is a play for me and a bet I am making at plus 145. Carm?
It's Bruins for me. Columbus, you said it perfectly. Columbus, I don't think is as good as they played against Tampa. Whether they can keep that, and with the time off especially, it's just they caught lightning in a bottle for 4 games. They won. Can they do it to the Bruins? I'm not really sure. I don't think yesterday's game was as taxing to the Bruins as a typical Game 7 would be.
I agree with that.
Right?
I agree with that.
Which is because usually you would look to fade the team who played a Game 7, a rough Game 7, on 1 day's rest. But no, it's Bruins for me. I think Bruins probably win both games at home and send us back to Columbus. I like this matchup a lot, so it's Bruins for me.
Andrew?
I mean, a few weeks ago when we did our playoff preview show, I said Bruins to win the East plus 500. I'm currently on that. And before yesterday's game, you could have got the Bruins to win the Cup at plus 800, and now that's completely moved down. I feel like Columbus versus Boston, Columbus is just a worse version of Boston. The reason why Columbus was so successful against Tampa Bay was their physicality and was their ability to play both a skillful game and also a physical game. Boston is a better version of that. They have better goaltending. They have better tough guys, but they're better guys like Marchand, Bergeron, Pasternak are better than Columbus's better guys with Panarin, Duchesne, Atkinson, those guys. I think matchup-wise, it's all Boston.
And they have guys who can get under your skin. Tampa Bay, I don't know who on Tampa Bay gets under your skin. They just have a whole bunch of talented offensive players. But Boston have guys who can get under your skin. And when they do that, it gets you out of your game. We saw it with the Leafs and with Kadri. They got under his skin.
Guys, we got to move on. We disagree. The two of you like Boston. I like Columbus. Dallas plus 135 against the Blues. I like Dallas here. I think the matchup is really good for Dallas for a similar reason of what you were saying, Andrew. I think the Blues are a poor man's version of Dallas and not the other way around. I think the two teams play a very similar style. Binnington is incredible, but he's not Ben Bishop. And the Blues do not have Jamie Benn.
I second what you just said. I fully agree with you. That's a great way to use the same comparison. And you look at this, Dallas getting to the second round, they're looking good. I like them to go far in the West now. The goaltending that they have, that top line's been playing outstanding. But the fact that in that closeout game, they got some help in the supporting cast and secondary scoring made them look like a complete team. So I like them as well, Prez.
Carm?
I'd love to get whatever you guys are smoking. No, kidding aside. I'm on the Blues.
Just come over.
I've been on the Blues since January the 1st. Okay, that the Blues turn around. They're playing great right now. They have home ice. It's going to be interesting to see if these first two games are completely low scoring, 2-1 type games, if we're going to finally see a 4.5, because we're going to see fives. I think the first game total is 5. And if we get a couple of low scoring games and this heads to Dallas where they play so well defensively at home, do we see our first 4.5 of the playoffs? I'm not really sure. Probably see a 5 that's shaded with a lot of juice on the under. But I'm looking forward to this series. I've got the Blues 14-1 to win the Cup this year. I got Washington at 11-1, so you know who I'm cheering for tonight. And I'd love to see the two of them in the finals. Will it happen? Who knows? But Blues series for me.
He's Andrew. I'm the Prez, and the other guy's wrong. Colorado, San Jose. So, to recap. Columbus, Dallas, both dogs. None of those bets are as strong to me as Nathan McInnis against San Jose. Very rarely do we see in hockey a performance like what Nathan McInnis did in round 1. He literally put that team on his back. I am guessing Captain Joe ain't seeing the ice for a while. San Jose is not a great team. Colorado wins the series. All 3 dogs for me. And I would even put a very small wager on Colorado going all the way. Because I am simply blown away by Nathan McInnis. Plus 750 to win it all. Carm.
I'm gonna stick with the Sharks. I think Colorado caught. They played really well. They matched up well against, and they played fearless against the Flames. But I think Colorado comes out of this series in which they were down 3-0 in the third period, and it's like they've got a new life. They're starting. It's a clean slate for them, and they've got home ice, which is great for them. Listen, we are
listening, Carm. I promise you that.
I talked about the San Jose game that the bottom 6 forwards on San Jose could make a difference last night, and we're talking about Thornton, Sorensen, and LeBlanc. LeBlanc 4 assists last night. I know they're all on the power play, but it doesn't matter how you get them. You get them. They can roll out. They can roll out 3 lines, which is more than Colorado can do. Shut down McInnis. Can it be done? We'll see. It's going to be a physical series. I think San Jose is going to take it to them. I'm with the Sharks here.
He's Carm. I'm the Prez. Andrew, any quick thoughts on this? And we got to call it a show.
I just kind of want to revert back to when the Winnipeg Jets were knocked out. And I'm not sure if you guys saw the clip when Blake Wheeler sweared at the reporter, said, how hard this trophy is to get to. And it really is true. He was so honest, so brutally honest, telling a reporter how hard it is to get there. And the San Jose Sharks have found that out over the past couple of years, how hard it really is to advance not only to the Stanley Cup, but just past the first round. Washington struggled for so long before they won their cup. And I feel like, finally the Sharks have got past this first round. They're going to go ahead and they're going to advance. Experience is the most important thing in the playoffs. Leadership's the most important thing in the playoffs. Getting past that, adversity against Vegas, it's important to me. And when I handicap that, when I look at it, the Sharks, like Carm said, they get the reset button, brand new series. I think they get the job done. But hey, guys, being having McInnis from Cole Harbour, I saw McInnis play here in Halifax. He dominated. They won the President's Cup. They won the Memorial Cup. I've known for so long how good he's been. People should have realized this years ago, how talented he is. It's like Don Cherry called him. He's a horse. Nobody can take the puck away from him. He's so fast. But it's like Carm said, the bottom 6 is better on San Jose than it is on Colorado.
Prez, let me ask you, 4 teams left in the West. Who's the best team in the West?
I think Colorado or Dallas go.
All right.
Prez, you should parlay all your series bets.
Oh, yes, I am. I'm going to parlay them all. Later, boys. We'll see you tomorrow, Carm and Alex. Andrew, enjoy tonight. Carm, enjoy tonight. Thank God I don't have to see you. I'm going to be playing Scrabble from 6 o'clock till midnight and then some nookie.
Good luck, guys.
See you guys.